good, guys? Welcome back to In Good Company, also known as En Buena Compañía. My name is Isis.
And this is Shanti.
And this is Evelyn. And welcome back to episode 11.
Woo-hoo.
You guys been faithful and loyal to
Pack
us.
number 11. Whoa.
Whoa.
We're not there yet. We're not talking about numerology yet.
But we have a special guest again. Oh, you want to show your
Returning.
face?
Hey, she's just
Hey.
she's embarrassed. She's a little ugly right now. I took her to the groomers, and let's just say, oh, they cut her hair with their eyes closed, but it's fine.
Hey, tag the place so if you're down.
Hey, whoa. Support small businesses, but put them out of business.
Yeah, bitch. They had a.
They did her wrong, but at least she has cute little ponytails, so that's it.
Hey, but she got a proud mommy. Hey,
Not that much.
Happy Mother's Day.
Hey,
Woo! Happy Mother's Day, Isis. How's it feel to be a mom?
Hey, Chantel's also a mother too.
Oh, yeah, hey, a mother too.
2 boys. Let's just
Whoa.
say the first one was easy. The second one, I really felt like I had an actual kid. I was like,
Hey,
oh
but
my
that's what they
goodness.
say, that the second one is always like the most rebellious.
Hey, they ain't lying. They ain't lying. I
Just
should
say
listen.
what they say is the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. What are your plans for Mother's Day, though? Are you guys doing anything special with your moms?
I was with her on Wednesday for Mexican Mother's Day. So I spent like the whole day. I bought her like flowers and a balloon. So I don't know if I should like buy her flowers again tomorrow and a balloon and something. But
She'll
we're for
probably
sure
want
gonna
that.
take her out to eat. And then around 12, we're gonna take my mother-in-law out. So yeah, that's basically what my Mother's Day is. What are y'all doing?
Nice.
My mom, for Mother's Day, she left Honduras, so she's right now on a flight. So I'll probably.
That's a good Mother's Day for her, though.
That's a good answer. Whoa, good for her. But I guess she's not thinking about her children. But it's cool. It's okay to be.
She's
selfish.
like, it's my holiday, not yours.
Whoa, but she gave birth to me.
And she was like, hey, I did my due diligence. Bye.
Bitch, period. She did not wait a second. She's like, okay, well, you guys have fun together, but me, I'm gonna be out. So I'm just gonna be with my sisters and like my aunts. We're just gonna do like a girls' day, like at my sister's house.
Oh, that's fun.
nice.
That's
When
good.
it's always
I mean, your
girls' day, 'cause
sisters
all
are,
my family's girls.
I was gonna say, I was like,
and I'll say all your sisters are moms. So like,
Yeah,
whoa.
that's
true.
I know. For Mexican Mother's Day, well, my mom went to Mexico last week, so she's living her best life right now. I called her for Mother's Day, and she's gonna be back on American Mother's Day tomorrow. So I'm gonna hang out with her. Probably, she's been saying she's been wanting some brown Nike shoes, and I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of hard to find.
Oh,
I'm
son
like,
Reebok or
yeah.
son Nike?
Yeah, she's like, but I'm gonna buy her some. Hopefully today, maybe if I have time, or tomorrow morning. If no stores closed. But yeah, I'm excited. I think honestly, it's a blessing to still have my mom.
Yes.
And for those that don't have their mom, I think stay strong, keep staying strong because it's a huge battle every day. But I don't know now that Mother's Day is coming up. Do you guys have like any funny story about you guys' mom when you guys were kids that you'll never forget?
Whoa, where do I
funny
start?
stories. I'm like,
Maybe like, just funny. I like the trauma ones. Like
I
I,
know, I
remember
was
those
like,
better.
Dude, I actually have one, but it's with my grandma. I would say because she's a mother also to me
Yeah.
too. But I remember I bought like my first boyfriend ever to my house once, and she was like, you know how Mexican moms or Latina moms are very strict with like the time they're there, and I was like, oh, I'm like, es mi novio, like. And then he was having a movie night with me, like on a Friday night. And then my grandma came out. She has a room in our house, and she was all like, she's like, gusto conocerte. It was like 8 p.m. I was like, all right, she likes him, dude. We're watching a movie, dude. And it's like 10:30, and I'm like, all right, watching my favorite movie with him. And then my grandma comes out, and she's like, oh, todavía estás aquí. And I'm just like, oh, shoot. Like, did the audacity to tell him that, though? And he just laughs out of nervousness. She's like, oh, okay, ¿qué están
Like,
viendo?
qué chistoso, ¿verdad? Todavía estar aquí como que si no tuviera casa. Pero quién sabe qué para decir.
No, exactly. That's literally. But what she was thinking. But she would not feel comfortable leaving me, even though my mom was already in the house. My mom was in her room, but she'd be like, every 5 minutes she would pasar and she'd be like, oh, ¿qué están viendo? And then she'd be cooking, dude. 11 p.m. cooking nothing. You just hear her like making
all boiling
enchiladas.
water.
She never eats at that time, and she's making enchiladas, and she's like getting enchiladas. She's doing anything just so she can be there, so nothing will happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I promise you, nothing's gonna happen here. And then she comes back. It's like 11:30, dude. She comes back and she's like, mijo, no tienes casa. She's like, ya es tarde. Tus papás qué van a pensar? And I'm just like, Bro, and I'm like, no, I was like, ya le dije a mi mom. I was like, I already told my mom that he can be here. She said he's fine, it's fine. And then I walked my grandma to her room, and then I'm like, dang, dude. And then my mom comes in. I go to my mom's room, and I was like, Mom, tell my grandma, like, stop. She keeps going over there to go get him. And she's like, ya le voy a decir. And then I hear my mom go talk to my grandma, and she's like, oh, okay, like, no, I was just checking if there was food and all this stuff. My grandma, lying. Dude, 10 minutes later, she goes again. And she's like, ya se me hace tarde. And my mom comes, and she's like, yeah, ma, yeah. And she grabs my grandma, and she takes her to the room like, no, you can't be doing this. Dude, my ex at the time felt so embarrassed. He was just like, I should probably leave. And I was like, no, you shouldn't. Aww. And then he was just like, yeah, I think it is. It's late. And I was like, yeah, you know what? It's fine. Do I regret it at this time? Not really, though, because, look, now I'm still single, though. maybe
your grandma was looking out.
I was like, maybe my grandma knew. But I guess that's a funny story with my mom and grandma. That's like sharing.
I remember one, it was like parent-teacher conference. Oh my God, the trauma that I had. We were like all coming in, and like, your parents have to like talk to your teachers or whatever. And like my mom had just got off work, so she just like threw on some clothes. And like we're there sitting down, and I was like, as we're sitting down, she gets up, and I'm like sitting behind her, and I get up, and I'm like, Mom. I'm like, I rushed to get her, and I cover her pants. She had a tear in like her back jean pocket, and you can see her calzone. And obviously at that time you're like more, and so it was like a tear like this, like it's a like a big old hole, and I'm like, Mom, no. I'm like, Mom,
my
God.
God.
I tenés hoy los pantalones. I'm like, Mom. She's like, para que mires, si no te andas portando bien, aquí voy a venir así para que te dé vergüenza de verdad. And I was like, whoa, how come you got great news for my teachers, but now you're trying to backtrack and they're trying to take it back, but really you're feeling clowned and you don't want to be clowned. Which I remember so traumatized. And she's like, yeah, act up and I will come to school like this or worse. And I was like, whoa. Anyways, I got straight A's that quarter.
Whoa. Dude, that was a huge
Principal's honor roll.
That's a huge story. My mom would do the same with like her hair would be messy. I was like, Mom, peínese. And she's like, así voy a salir y te voy a agarrar de la clase. And I was like, she's like, si no te portas bien. I was like, whoa, I did not get detention the whole elementary.
I knew there was detention in elementary.
Yeah, whoa, clearly Evelyn knew.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have any funny stories that I can think of right now on the top of my head. I have like, I mean, they're funny to me, but they're not funny to her.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear them.
I think one I can think of on the top of my head was when I came home late, and she was so over me coming home late. And I was, with my man, and, I didn't live with him yet. So I would, stay here till like 3 or something in the morning, and I would like wake him up like, okay, take me home. And he would take me home, and my mom leaves around like 4 in the morning, like 4 or something. God.
So she was already up.
So she was out the door, getting in the car to go to work, and he's like dropping me off, and he rolls the window down to be polite. He's like, "Hi, Maria," and she's like, "It's the last time, Tony. It's the last time." And I was like, "Oh my shit!" God. I've never seen her like so pissed off. I was so embarrassed at that moment. I was like, oh my God. And Tony was just like, oh shit. And he like left. But yeah, bro, that's probably, yeah. And I was like already like 23, like 20. Well,
that's a Latina household. You could be 30, a woman living, and you still have to be home by 11 p.m.
Yeah, honestly, I had so much freedom. But every time I got a boyfriend, it was like no more freedom. It was weird. But
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know what? My mom too, but I think it's more the fear was about like, what if she gets pregnant?
Yeah. I think that's all the moms.
That's a genuine fear though. I get it,
Yeah.
Because, your life does change after.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like for learning from my mom, I know what to do and what not to do. But I also got a lot of great things from my mom, like great advice, great words of wisdom. I feel like being raised with the strict mom has its like pros and cons.
I agree. Yeah.
But I did learn a lot from that. And what would you say you guys really learned a lot from your mother? Or maybe a piece of advice that always sticks with you?
I think one thing that my mom always taught me was like the importance of independence. Like my mom, she was always the one making like, I wouldn't say she makes a lot more money than my dad, but she's always been like the breadwinner. And so like, I feel like she always kind of just was kind of like my idol. Like I wanted to also like, I don't want to say I want to be the breadwinner, but I want to be independent. Like, I kind of do want to live the lifestyle that she lived, where she enjoyed life. And another thing that she taught me was, your young ones, like, always dress good, always like, just like, don't be afraid to express yourself, like, like my man, he just bleached his whole head, and so
whoa, I didn't see him, and I'm looking forward to seeing him.
He bleached his whole head, and you know, some people were saying like, oh, that's gay or that's that, and I told my mom, I showed her a picture like, oh look, Tony bleaches. She's like, oh my god, like she's just all for like expression,
wow.
like self-expression. And she's always like, and she's always told me, especially when you're young, like don't care what other people think, because you're gonna reach an age where you're gonna actually look ridiculous doing all the things that you wanted to do, you know. So
don't tell my grandma though.
Yeah, so I feel like my mom still, you know, she still dresses pretty young. You know, she doesn't dress like, you know, her age, I would say. She does and she doesn't. But I feel like her message is like, you know, don't care what other people think when it comes to self-expression, and like don't wear things or don't do things because of other people. Like, you know, do it because you feel good and you want to. And I really love that my mom put that in my head. She's not conservative, but, you know, I did grow up religious. Like, my dad is Jehovah's Witness, so I did grow up really religious. But, like, she was never the type to be like, oh, cover yourself, or don't wear that, or, you know, like, watch out for what the boys think. Like, my mom was never like that. Like, she was always like, fuck that, you know, wear the fuck you want, you know, like, you know, be sexy. Obviously, at age, like, once I was a certain age, she was more for it. But, yeah, like, I appreciate my mom so much. And she also taught me, you know, how to be a really great partner. I feel like I always saw the way she was with my dad and the respect that she had for him, and like the partnership that they had. I just feel like it was like a good
balance.
It was a good balance, and it was nice to see that growing up, because I feel like she set me up to be a good partner and to, you know, like, you know, and to be a natural giver, because that's what my mom is too. She's a natural giver with everybody. You know, leave her family, with me, with her kids. Like, you know, if my friends come over, she was never the type where like, oh no, this is our bread, this is our, like, no. She was very like, no, tell them to eat it. Who cares? Like, I remember I had cousins, I finished all my snacks and I was upset. She's like, ay, mija, like, that's what it's for, you know, like, and I love that, because I want to carry that. Like, if I have kids and they bring their kids, like, I don't want to be those moms that are like, no, like, I want to be very giving and like, no, mijo, yeah, take this, take some water, take that. Like, so I feel like my mom taught me a lot how to be a woman at the end of the day.
I love that. Oh, that's great. Honestly, and it is who you are now. And hey, whoa, maybe that's why we love Shanti, for who she is. And Maria, whenever she wants to invite us to go eat, hey, she said it though, no take back. What about you guys, sis?
For me, I feel like some of like, maybe, so my mom always told me to be like, a woman should always be great at two things: in the kitchen and in bed. But I have to say, like, that didn't actually pan out like how probably she thought it meant. Like, I think what I learned from that, or what I thought I put value in, was like, oh, you have to be great at these two things, right? Like, in order for a partner to want to stay with you, like, you need to be a lady in the street, freak in the bed. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like now that I'm older, kind of the key lesson that I took away from that is actually the opposite. Is that if you want to be with someone, you need to find someone who wants to be kept, right? Like, like you were saying, like, it doesn't matter if you're the freakest freak. It doesn't matter if you're a Michelin 5-star chef. Like, at the end of the day, what you will find value and what your partner will find value in is if you align yourself morally, your values are the same, and you want the same things. And so, although she taught me that maybe those things have value, for me, I look at it now, I'm like, those are the sprinkles, right? Because you can always learn how to cook, and you can always, they say sex gets the best at 40 plus, you know? So I think that those things you can learn from, but at the end of the day, being a good person and finding a partner who has those good values and will treat you right. Now I see that those were not like my key takeaways, you know, that my key takeaway was find someone who wants to be with you and who wants to value you first. Those other things can be pluses and add-ons, but they don't need to be the foundation for what a successful relationship will be.
Right. Yes. That's a good one.
Like, that was a key thing.
Do you feel like that's flourished within your relationship? What do you think?
Yeah, I think like I said, obviously I've been with my partner for a long time, you know, so you're going to learn how to do, like, I didn't start learning how to cook till 2020 September. Whoa, to be exact, September 19. You know, like,
that's when we all started going over.
I know, and she started making food for us too.
Whoa, let's just say that was a first for me too. Yeah, like I think it definitely taught me. I think when I first, and in a way it was good and in a way it was bad because I think when I also started having like sexual relationships, all I thought was like, oh, do they like it? Do they like it? Do they enjoy it? So I feel like I wish I didn't think so much of value of that part, because then I think I would have learned earlier, like, sex is something that I have to also enjoy, and I don't have to always worry about making sure that they reach climax, but also making sure that I reach it. So in a way, I appreciate the advice, but I think I turned it around and looked at it like those are just kind of add-ons and things that they're not the top. They shouldn't be the top things for you.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Whoa, you were a giver in bed. Whoa.
No.
Hey, my favorite kind of people.
Let's just say I keep it. No. We'll leave it there.
For real, hey, that's for the next episode.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, I would say, well, there's two pieces of advice that growing up will never leave my mind. But one of them, it's kind of cheesy. I think everybody knows this, but my mom would tell me, dime con quién te juntas y te diré quién eres. Like, tell me who you're hanging out with and I'll tell you who you are. It's almost the same as like, what's that quote that goes,
together.
Okay, yeah, that one too. But that one that says you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most or something. Have you guys heard of that quote?
Yeah.
You're the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. And I always used to question on like, well, just because my friends do this doesn't mean I do this. But I started realizing that when I was growing up, I was catching on to things, which was attitude, energy, and everything that I would reciprocate to my mother when I was hanging out with like maybe bad influence friends or things that were at the time in high school not considered good or more bad. And now as I grow older, it's like, it's true. I am the average of the 5 people I hang out with, whether they're teaching me something, whether it's their energy or their vibes or whatever they're giving, I reciprocate it back to my mother or to whoever I'm around with when it comes to family. So I think I stick to that really strongly now. And when I hang out with people, I'm like, oh, okay, well, if they're going to hang out with people that just all they do is, do things that aren't good for you, then they're probably not going to be the best person that they can be. Another one this one's my favorite is my mom would always tell me when I'd be sad about something, whether it's a friendship, whether you're sad about a friendship, relationship, family, she would always tell me es mejor llorar una temporada que una vida eterna. So it's better to cry a season. It's better to cry for a season than a lifetime. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's actually, now I think about it, I'd rather just cry all freaking summer long about this than a whole lifetime spend my time with someone who wasn't meant to stay in my life. Whether it was a friend, whether it was family, or whether it was a relationship. Things go away, things come and go for a reason, like seasons, and so do our feelings and our emotions. I think that's something I always tell, even I know I'm going to tell my kids, it's like, it's better to cry for a season than a lifetime. You don't want to spend your whole lifetime questioning, why did I stay with this person? Why did I keep this person in my life? So I think those are too powerful.
You've put that into practice?
Yes, I feel like I have. I've been trying to. I feel like when I go through something where I don't want to lose someone, whether it's a friend or a relationship, I keep that in mind. I'm like, it's better to suffer right now than have this prolonged maybe months later, years later. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I should have left. And now it's harder for me to leave the situation because I've been attached to this person.
Yeah.
Which I've been in circumstances like that, even with friends where I don't want to let go of my friends because I still see the potential in them. But that energy is being, I wouldn't say wasted, but I'm investing too much energy in that when it can be invested in something else.
Yeah. I think another thing that my mom really taught me too was like to always give. Always give to like the less fortunate. I can say I remember when I was not even less fortunate. If someone needs help and you can help them, help them. When I remember when I used to go to Honduras, like we used to take like 2 maletas, and I would always leave like 1 maleta, like 1 luggage for those who don't speak Spanish, 1 luggage to like all the kids that lived in like our colonia. So colonias in Honduras are like your neighborhood,
like a block,
like a block, like a block. So I would always like have that value. Like I remember that's why I got life so many times, because all my friends in Honduras were like really poor. Like I know that's but I literally got life so many times because I had like really poor friends, and I would go to their house and I would like lay down in their beds or play with them, and like I would over there them right there. Like I swear I had like some, but I feel like that's why to me it taught me to be really humble in life and to be really grateful, because I saw people who didn't have anything and appreciate the little things. And like me, I always had a bed. I always had food. Like I had everything that I needed to sustain and have a good life. You know, and I feel like had it not been for her teaching me to always give no matter what, like even if you don't have anything, give people like your last, you know, and like we've had, and like we've had people who come to the United States and, you know, don't have any papers, they've lived with us. I mean, I've lived with hella people. So I think that for me, being a good person, I 100% learned it from her.
Dude, I say shout out to our grandmothers and mothers, especially those that are in like third world countries or other countries, not like the U.S., but Mexico, Honduras, Latino America, like that. It's not easy, you know. When I would go over there to my grandma's house, you know, when people used to wash their clothes with the thing, what do you call those?
I would.
Dude, my grandma would be like, I remember I was a kid, I was like, ¿Y la lavadora? Where's the washer at? And she's like, lavadora? ¿Qué crees? You think we have money? And I was like, huh? And then she would teach me. She was like, 10. And then dude, her right arm was buff. I was like, dang, okay, SpongeBob. Remember when she had the big arms? I was like, okay. Dude, and she would make me wash my clothes with hand and literally do everything. She's like, okay, ya que termines. I was like, I'm a visitor. Why is she making me do chores? She'd be like, you're going to go water the plants. You're going to go sweep. You're going to go mop. And I was like, what's up? We're gonna go to the beach or what? And she's like, maybe on Saturday. But all of them my time was either cleaning, but it'd be fun because you'd be cleaning with other kids. Yeah. You know, I spent a lot of my time too with kids that were my age at the time. And we'd clean together, but it became fun. Yeah. And again, you think that's their fun. That's their kind of fun because they're enjoying this because you're here. But then right here, if you're cleaning, you wouldn't find it fun. You'd be like, Mom, what the heck? Let's go to the beach. Let's go to Target. Let's go somewhere else. Yeah. So I'm thankful for those opportunities too, that I got to grow up in places where I probably would never experience if it wasn't for my parents. Because it did humble me, and I feel like now, which is I also like giving. I feel like we all like giving.
Yeah, I think we're all givers here for sure. I think in different ways, but we're for sure givers. I feel like I think Mexico taught me humbleness. Like since I was little, my parents, they both worked a lot. So once it was summer school, I didn't have no one to take care of me. So my parents would be like, "We're taking you to Mexico with your grandma," and this is my dad's mom. I never met my mom's mom. She died when my mom was like 20 something. So I never got a chance to meet her, but they say I look like her. So, but
she was beautiful.
But anyways, I remember going to Mexico and like same thing as Evelyn, like being like 5 years old and getting to my titas, and I'm like, okay, like where's the TV? Where's all that? Like,
did you feel like a special guest? How like the focus should be on me?
When I first went, and then I kind of caught on that it's like another life over there. You know, it's like I had to wash all my clothes by hand. Like my grandma was. I love her, but she was not the sweetest lady. I would admit that. But I feel like she made me do everything while my brother was watching cartoons, eating chips like this, like on the couch.
Dude, literally,
it's the sexism for me, you know? Yeah, but I feel like I remember every time I came back to the States, I was like, oh my God, I was just so happy.
I miss my bed. Dude, I'd be back and I was like, oh, my bed, the TV. And then how hot it gets over there, bro. Oh my God. And it's
normal. And the mosquitoes.
Oh my God, Los Zancudos, no.
Dude, they like that American blood. They just think it's like the best or something. You're just like, dude, you come back and then you see all your cousins over there and they don't have any.
Nothing. Yeah.
And you're just like, what? And then and they compliment you, like, it's because you got that good blood.
And you're like, ay, tiene sangre dulce. And you're all feeling better. You're like, hi, well, I want to fucking make it bitter.
I know. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know it was Bella from Twilight.
This is the skin of a killer, Bella. Wait, did you guys ever shower with like a cubeta? Like
yes. Why did they hit though? God. I don't know why they would hit sometimes.
Oh hell no! I would literally I would grab it and I'd be like, okay, 1, 2, and like the water would like not even touch me, and I'm like, no, this time for real. 1, 2, woo! Until I was like, no, this like for real, ya, porque you're already wasting the water. You only have a little bit because they turn off the water in Honduras. So I would go, should have been.
Do you think about it? Those are really core memories we had. Dude, I had my grandma, my dad's mom. She has like a ranchito, like a little farm. I don't know how you say in English, ranch or whatever.
Ranch, yeah.
Hey, whoa, hot Cheetos with ranch? I'm just kidding. I know.
You're not speaking my language.
Yeah. No, she was like a ranchito, right? And she's like, I was like, where's the restroom at? She sends me like this place over there. It's like this little square. And I'm like, dude, it's nighttime and I'm scared. And I'm like, oh, Dad. He gives me like a flashlight as a kid and I go running. Dude, I go in there and I'm like, where's the restroom at? And it looks, and it's just a hole, a deep hole. And I'm like, and I leave. I was like, no more. He's like, no. He was like, I was like, what if I fall in that hole? Bro,
that would be the worst.
Little me. And I'm just like, dude, I could literally fall in that shithole and just freaking drown in the poop that was in there. That was like, what the? Oh, hell no.
I remember that though. I remember being little and having to pee in the middle of the night, and my tita would have a bowl in the side of the bed because the restroom was like on the other side, and nobody. In my pueblo, there's brujeria. There's a lot of spooky stuff, so you don't want to be walking at 3 a.m. all the way down to the restroom.
Girl.
Dude, isn't it?
Oh, go ahead. In Honduras, my aunt had like a restroom outside too. It was like a hole where you would poop. But in Honduras, like where she used to live at, there used to be a lot of frogs. So you would be terrified of going out.
And they're big, huh?
Because there would be big frogs and they would throw like leche. Yeah, so like, rip it. You're like, you're in the, like, imagine you're in the restroom. There's a frog right in front of you and like you're about to take a dump and it's looking at you like, try me because I will squirt you real quick.
Oh
like,
my goodness.
Trauma. So yes, if you walked out of there, you definitely walked out with a bladder infection.
Dude, I was going to say that is crazy because the people that have the least are the people that give the most.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I noticed.
Yes. Because you know what's funny? Since I was little, I noticed like, why is my family in Mexico so much happier than my family over here? Like even their social skills is so much better than my family over here. Yeah. And I'm not saying all my family here, but majority. And I was like really thinking like, dude, we have more than my family over there. Like, you know, we have more opportunities. Like, why are we so sad? And I think what United States lacks is community. Like, we're also like isolated. Like, all of our family lives far, or different state, or you have to drive to, like me, I have to drive to LA to visit my family. And it's nice when I go to my pueblo because my tita lives right there. The other side is my tia. And then all my other tias live around. My prima over here. Like, I can walk all throughout my whole town and all my family is right there.
That's
so
beautiful.
I feel like that's why I feel like my family over there is so much happier than my family over here because of the community.
I think the culture here is very individualism.
Yeah.
Yes,
versus like, you know, it humbles me when I go back with my family. You know, you're raised here and I feel like I've adapted to that individualism and I want it sometimes. But then I get humbled down when I go back with my family and I'm like, you know, this is why we're really all here for each other. We got one another's back if something happens. If my car breaks down, I know the first person that will help is any of my, like my brother or my uncle or my dad that will come up first. It's like they're always there for one another. And it kind of sucks because individualism has been seen now as such like a, wow, you've made it if you're individualism. But then that's also when you can become a little selfish and not care about others. And personally, I take responsibility because sometimes I feel like I become a little selfish. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't need anyone. But at the end of the day, my roots, what really made me who I am now, you know, my family. I know, but I could be successful, have everything I want, have all the money I want. Let's say my freaking tower falls down. All those people, friends that were there for me, I know none of them will be there for me. But the only people that will probably still be there for me are the people that had the least in Mexico or my mom and dad. And so like, even though you know, you had everything, you wanted to separate yourself from us, you fall back, we're still going to have you here with our arms wide open.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful, I like that, the community thing.
Yes. I think what it is too is like, you know, imagine just being around your family. I'm not saying like if you have a bad family, okay, you know, but I mean like me, like if I was around my primos all the time, like I wouldn't have space to be depressed or sad, you know. It's just like, I think that's what, like, I remember being so happy when I was little and having a good childhood because I had so many cousins and I was always around them and I just made so many memories, you know. And it is sad when you get older and you realize everyone's so damn busy. Like nobody can kick it, everybody's working or everybody lives far, and you do miss that. You miss being little and being around your family all the time. And I feel like, you know, when I go to Mexico, it's like I get that again, you know. I get that family, that united, like everyone's just right there. And you know, I feel like United States, like they need to, you know, I feel like we need to kind of like start building more communities, you know. And it doesn't always have to be family. Like me, my community is my friends, you know. Tony's family lives around the corner around here, so I feel like I'm starting to build my own community around my area. But I feel like that's really important.
I agree. I think and that's something, like you said, that's taught. You know, we all have really great moms, and I think my mom has always taught me, you know, to come with your family. I remember when my mom first immigrated to this country, her and my tia, they're like uña y mugre, you know, like, you know, their other half.
You say uña y mugre?
Yeah, that's what in Honduras they say that. Like, that's what they say.
That means dirt and nails.
Dirt and nails. But but that's a good one.
No, like, that's it. Like, están pegadas como uña y mugre, you know? Like,
hey, y'all could have said peanut butter jelly, but you said uña y mugre? Like,
in Honduras,
that's real right there.
together like pan con mantequilla, okay? But like when my mom came here and my aunt was like, no, I'm gonna stay in Honduras, and then a few months later, like my aunt followed and my mom came and like helped her, and I'm telling you, like I've always seen my mom go with my aunt, you know. I've always seen like all our family always have pairs, always stay together, and like I love that my family gets together like all the time throughout the week, and it is beautiful. I feel like, why do you want a place where you can only depend on like your partner, you know, or you can only like, you need others because sometimes they're not available, and you need to, like you said, create that community, and yeah, there's nothing more than better than having people who love you.
Dude, I feel like I have a community with my cousins. Like I have like 3-4 cousins my age, Uva, Miguel, and Gris. And I feel like every day, if I'm not FaceTiming one, I'm FaceTiming the other. And it's like, we got to keep up. And sometimes we have group FaceTime calls and we're keeping up with each other. I was like, are y'all feeling out of it today? I'm like, yeah. But it's like, you guys can relate in that same community. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just something with the weather. I don't know. Yeah. But I like that. I feel like I'm trying to get more involved in communities. Like there's this running club I go to. And even though I didn't really know anyone, I started feeling like home when people start getting like vulnerable and open and like, oh, where do you live? What do you do? Oh, nice. How was your day? People get really deep in conversations like, man, I love myself a good community. Yeah. And then my friends are a good community too. My family, you have to get all these resources to just make you cool again.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad my mom taught me that though. My mom taught me the importance of family. I feel like I've always seen my mom bend over backwards for all her sisters, any prima, any primo that needs anything. Like my mom's right there. And so I want to be like that. I'm trying. I feel like it's a little harder, you know, but like, you know, like when you're kind of dealing with your own stuff, it can be a little hard, but I'm trying. I'm trying to be there for my family as much as I can.
I think too, my mom has always been like sacrificed a lot of her life to help others, and I think she did sacrifice a lot of her life to be a mom. Like she stopped being a woman so that she can be only a mother and a provider. And what I am gonna take away from that is to not do that. I feel like I love her, but I wish I could see my mom with like a partner. I wish I could see her with like a companion. Just see her be a woman, a mother, and all. You know, unfortunately, when growing up, I never saw her with anybody. So I feel like if I do have kids one day, I don't want to stop living my life only for my kids, you know? I want my kids to be integrated in the life that I have and to make my life fuller with them, not leave myself empty by making sure that their cup is full every day, you know? So I feel like as much as sacrificing is an important part of motherhood, and I think that it's necessary, like there's going to be points where you have to sacrifice, and that's totally a part of it, but you shouldn't sacrifice you.
Yep.
Like entirely,
because if you're not happy, you're not going to teach your children to be happy, and your children are going to mimic those things, mimicking that sacrifice. And maybe it won't be with the children's, maybe it'll be with their partnerships or their friends, and so by teaching them that you have value and self-worth, and your life should be first, so that you can then give to others in a way that's not like emptying. I think that's a really great example.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah,
that's a really good one. Yeah, I feel like sometimes, you know, like my mom, if anything, I wish she sacrificed a little more. My mom was very like self-love. I remember being little and my mom, she'll getting ready and stuff, and she'll literally go like this, like she'll kiss herself in the mirror. And I'm like, I'll be a little girl like, Mom, don't do that. And she'll be like, what? And she'll do it again to piss me off. And I'll be like, Mom, you know, your little like stupid shit irritate you. And I wish she'd do it again and again and like make me mad, you know? But I mean, she taught me a lot of self-love, but when I have kids, I'm gonna find that balance, you know, of being selfish, but also being selfless, because I really believe you can't truly be selfish until you're selfless, you know, because you know, people that like are selfish and get their shit together and all that, now they have the resources and the mental capacity to really help another person, you know? So I feel like I just want to find that balance when I have kids. It's, you know.
Ooh, yeah. You know, that made me realize, I think that's where I'm at a point in my life. I'm trying to gather all these resources so I can be able to provide back, you know, but I'm in the process still.
Yeah.
But, yeah, going back to what Isa said too, with the mom things, I feel like sacrifice is a huge thing. Not everybody. I think some people really prioritize things, which is why they take sacrifices. And we say, "Oh, I personally wouldn't do that." but it definitely teaches us something,
Yeah.
you know, on what sacrifice really is, what true love it really is, what it is to really love someone so much that you push everything to the side because you want their happiness to come first.
Yeah.
So honestly, shout out to your mom for that. Shout out to your mom. Shout out to our moms that did take sacrifices and push things on the side just so they can put us first.
Yeah.
And I think now that's something we're trying to incorporate. As for me, give it back to her. You know, this is why sometimes I moved out. Maybe this is why I chose to be a little further, because I wanted her to really be happy on her own, do things that she didn't get to do, and which now she's doing. She started working again. She's over here like spending time in Mexico. Doesn't even know when she's gonna come back. Shoot, forgot she had kids. Whoa,
Whoa,
different
someone's
level.
venting.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. I think that's a wrap for the episode, guys.
Yeah. We want to say to all the mothers that are watching, you're amazing. You're great. You're doing the best that you can with what you have. And that counts for something. Making sure your children are happy and making sure that you're happy is a priority. And today's all about you. And we thank you to our moms and to those moms watching.
Yes. Shout out to all the mamas. Thank you guys for watching. You know, this is Shanti.
Isis.
And this is Evelyn. Feliz Dia de las Madres and happy Mother's Day to those great mothers and fathers who are taking mother roles.
Yes, shout out to the dads that are stepping up for the moms that are absent too. We see you, we support you, but your day's coming soon. Relax.
Yes.
All right, bye y'all.